You are listening to the Slowly Dying Podcast with Bekah.
Am I just extra or are you just basic?
Yo, what's
Can
up,
you
Daddy?
please move your leg?
I cannot believe my ex said that.
And Bronte. I can't believe any of my exes said that. I didn't have my coffee today. I'm sorry. If there's good food, there is no problem.
Some whipped cream on your nose, actually.
Are we really back for another season?
We get it down on the mic because you don't want a bike.
Oh God, here we go.
Hey guys, what's poppin'? It's Bekah, and I'm back on the mic, just by myself. I know it's been a little while, definitely been over a month, but if you guys are not caught up about the situation, go listen to Bronte's latest rant called, I think it's I'm Sorry. It will explain everything, and you know, I'm just glad that she's doing better and she's feeling better, and honestly, that is all that matters to me. But yes, it is just me on the rant. Bronte does not have a voice. She's not feeling well. So I told her I wanted to get back into my co-parenting rants. And like how I always start the co-parenting rants, you guys know I have a son named Willie, and I co-parent with his father. So everything I say does not mean that it's between me and him. It could be, you know, I talk to a lot of people. It could be, you know, from my friend and, you know, her baby daddy, or, you know, my guy friend and how he handles his, like, you know, the mother of his child. So, you know, this is not just like, oh, you know, hated towards my son's father. I mean, it could be, or it could be not. Definitely just want to put that out there. This is, like I said, really no hate towards him. I just think this is something that needs to be talked about a lot more, because I think a lot of people don't want to talk about it because it's quote unquote embarrassing, or it's stressful, or they think they're the only one dealing with this situation. And that's not true, because so many people have reached out to me and been like, I'm so thankful that you decided to speak out to it. And, you know, honestly, this is why me and Bronte started the podcast, is because it gives us a voice. Because when I went through a lot of damage a couple years ago when I left my son's father, there was a lot of damage, and I feel like I didn't have a voice. There was a lot of like lies that went on about me. There was a lot of things hidden that will come to light, because the truth always comes out, and that's fine. So this actually gives me a voice, and I want to talk about it because I pretty much want to. So I hope you guys are having a good day. So this one is going to be called court and child support. I think child support is a very sensitive topic for everyone. People that are receiving the child support, people that are getting the child support. And also court is not fun to go to. I think a lot of, like, some of my friends never had to go through court because, well, let's just face the facts, guys. Hold on. So the kids are usually with the mother. They usually are. It's just the way it is. I don't, you know, if dads would maybe step up more, maybe the dads would get the kids more, but that's usually 90% of the cases are moms usually get the kid. If you're a dad and you get your kid, good for you, proud of you, keep doing what you're doing, because the kid needs both parents in their lives, as long as it's a healthy, safe relationship. But I think before we actually get into this, though, it's very important to talk about control, because when you're in sensitive topics like this, you know, your emotions come out that you probably have never felt before. It's very scary. You know, usually people go to court and getting child support and all that stuff right after they break up. So like you're still dealing with the breakup on top of this. So it's very important to be able to control your emotions and control what you say. The next rant I'm going to be dropping is about documentation, because I think that is like the number one thing, to document every single thing. But I'm not going to like take up this rant to talk about documentation, because that's going to be our next one. I got to stop saying but you know, I think that you really need to like focus on your emotions, figure out what you're going to say, because, you know, once you're in front of the judge, me and my son's father never had to go in front of a judge. We settled before we got to the judge. The judge signed it, our custody agreement, and we're actually not following our custody agreement. We actually switched up a couple days and times. He gets him every other weekend, and he gets him Friday after school, and then I get him Sunday night right before school. And then, of course, if he wants to come more, then he is more than welcome to come see his son. I think it's very important that you don't hold the other parent away from their child unless there's a good reason. Of course, if you made plans that day and you say, no, you can't come because we have plans, is there another day available? And then, that's totally different than saying, like, you can never come see your son. Definitely not like this in this case. But, yeah, it needs to honestly all be bleh. Sorry, I'm like stuttering, but it all needs to be about the kid. I think it's very important to put the kid first, because I think when you go to court, like I said, I've never went in front of a judge, but they are going to make sure that the parent that gets the kid is the most fit to get that kid, who has been there, who has been like the most stable, who has taken care of the child all these years, who offers them outside activities. Like Willie goes to the YMCA, he goes to the childcare, and then he also goes to karate, like those kind of things. Like, who's doing the most activities with the child? The living situation, if you live far away or if you live 5 minutes down the road, that's going to be a very big, and I've done a lot of research on this, and I looked at other people's like court cases, who lives the closest to school, who lives the closest to all these activities, who takes them all the time, who takes them to their doctor's appointments, who takes them to their dentist appointments. The judge will see that. And I think documentation, that's where it plays a very, 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 very big point in the court system. Like I said, I don't want to talk too much about court. I kind of wanted to get more into child support because I've never went to court, but it can be very nerve-wracking. And I've noticed, like, with people that go to court, like, it's not just settled in one setting. A lot of people spend thousands and thousands of dollars to hire a lawyer. Lawyers are expensive. I think we all know that by now. I know if you're income-based, I know that somehow some people can get free lawyers. I don't know how that works, so you guys would have to do your own research on that. But it's a lot of money, and if you guys could, like, co-parent better and maybe just kind of come up with something so you guys don't have to go to court, that would be the best. But sometimes that's not the best, because sometimes people just can't get along and people can't put their differences aside. And some people, I feel like, not to throw them under the bus, but I feel like in my situation, I get blamed for a lot. As you guys know, I left him, and I just feel like there's still a lot of hate in our situation. We're a lot better than we were, but I think there's like a lot of hate still in our situation. So sometimes that pops up, but you still have to remind yourself, like, this is about my son. This is about my daughter, not about the other parent. I'm doing what I need to do to take care of my kid, and that is all that matters. That is honestly all that matters, is putting that kid first. Anybody knows me, I put my son 110% of the time. I love him. I do everything for him. Every choice I pretty much make is for him. And Willie knows that. Like, I love Willie so much, but I don't know why I brought that in. But let's get more into child support. So I think, I have my son's father on child support. I know when he was little, I didn't want to put him on child support. I started to ask him for things like diapers, and it would just always be constantly an argument. Or I'm like, hey, do you mind if I get like $20, whatever, so I could like go buy him newer clothes, or, and it was constantly an argument. So my family and my friends finally talked me up, and they're like, you know what, you need to stop being walked all over, and you need to get Willie his money. And I'm like, what do you mean Willie his money? And he was like, it's not your money, it's Willie's money, it's the kid's money. And I think once you view it as that, you don't feel bad anymore. It takes two people to make a baby, and both parents need to put money in, because money makes the world go round. Kids need money. And then, I served him with papers like most moms do. I know some people don't want to take their whatever to, wait. So I think, hold on. So I think some people do not want to take their, other parent for child support, because how child support works is it's income based. So like, let's say you make $10 a month and the other person makes $10 a month or makes $15 a month. So you'll get a percentage of that money based on how much you have your kid. If you guys ever wanted to know, there is a calculator online. So if you guys want to look that up, if not, just, call your local child support office and see if they have like a calculator. You can put in like all that information. But yeah, I think that, wait, hold on. So like what I was saying, sorry, I'm getting all like, it is early in the morning, guys. It is like 8:30 in the morning. So, and I'm not used to being awake in the morning because usually I fall asleep because you guys know I'm night shift, but it's my day off. And like I said, once you start seeing it as, oh, my, son's father or my son's mother just calls me bitter because I take all the money. That's not true, guys. They're just mad because they have to pay. They're mad because you're setting boundaries, and that's okay. Let them be mad, because honestly, as long as you're spending that money on your child, that's all that matters. Again, that is all that matters. Let the other parent act bitter, because usually the parent that calls the other parent bitter is usually the bitter parent. I mean, it's obvious. You know what I mean? Like, or they play the victim. They play the victim and they try to like, especially narcissists, they will try to like trip your mind up and be like, oh, I shouldn't be paying child support. I don't have a lot of money, this and that. And then you catch them going out to dinner every other day, or they're going to Wawa 4 times a day, or they're doing all this other stuff and they show up with a new car. No, they need to pay for their child. And that's just the way it is. I know that, for a while I was like, oh, the money only goes to like groceries, or it only goes to rent, or like whatever. But that money can go to or more. Like if you want to take your child to an amusement park, or you want to do like take your child to the zoo, that is what that money's for. Yes, of course, make sure that basic needs are met, but that money can also be used for outside activities. Because the reason why child support is the way it is because it's supposed to give the child a good chance in both homes, and it's supposed to equal out the income in both houses. Sometimes it's not always like that, but I think that we would all agree, well, the people that have their kids almost like 98% of the time would agree that child support usually, in most cases, I mean, I've seen some people get like $3,000 worth of child support in a month, and I'm like, damn, like that's a lot. But whatever, I mean, it's really none of my business. I know a lot of people who get that much. I do not get anywhere near that much, which is fine. I don't need thousands of dollars. I will make it happen whether I get child support or not. You know what I mean? I will pick up extra shifts. I will pick up an extra job. Willie has always been 100% taken care of. But that money goes towards, like I take Willie to karate, so I'll pay the bill with that money. You know what I mean? And I also have a savings for Willie. I want to open up a savings account. If you don't really need the child support, put it away for their first car when they turn 16, put it away for their college, or if they want to go to trade school, or, whatever they want to do when they're older. Just because you don't need the money, you might need it later, that's the child's money, and the child has a right to that money. So definitely get, don't be afraid for child support. And, I think the number one reason why people don't put their child's parent on child support is because that might make the other parent want to go to court. It's very interesting in how many people will be placed on child support, and then it follows with a court-ordered paper saying, like, we need to review our case. Because the more time you get with your child, the less you have to pay child support. You know what I mean? So, for example, I have Willie 98% of the time, and his father only has him, a little bit of time. So I receive the child support. So, let's say, in our situation, if he got mad, he would be like, okay, well, I want to take you to court because I want Willie 50% of the time. So then at that time, maybe he would pay a lot less, or maybe they would be like, we don't want you to pay at all, type of thing. So I think that's another reason why especially a lot of moms, about 50% of the people that I talk to don't want to place the person on child support because they're like, I'm afraid, that he would only want my kid because he doesn't want to pay child support. And I understand that to a point. I think, I was a little bit afraid of that, but, our situation is different. Every situation is different. So I think a lot of people have mixed reviews. A lot of people can co-parent without child support, which I think is great. I wish, me and my son's father was at that point. I don't like putting him on child support. Like, it's not like, oh, I need his money. I don't need his money. I never needed his money. As you guys know, I'm a nurse. I make very good money. But again, it's not my money. It's Willie's money. And I think that's what we honestly, every time you're upset about child support or whatever, and even if you're paying child support, like, I think some parents, especially dads, are like, oh, well, is she using the money for the child? And that can become a very touchy subject because in child support, you don't need to prove, like, it's not like, oh, here's like a special card that only goes for like diapers, wipes. It's not like that. It's just put in your bank account, or it can be put on a special card, but there's no proof. So I think some moms, be not using the money for the child. But in most cases, I found out like a lot of moms are using the money for the child. And I think if roles were reversed, if most of the time, if moms were paying child support and the dads had them 98% of the time, I'm telling you, those dads would give the kids right back. Because that $500 or $800 a month it doesn't cover all the bills. It's not even close. If your child is in outside activities and you do a lot with your child and you're saving up for the child's college, that child support usually doesn't even touch even half the bills. It helps. But that's just, some things I wanted to say, and some things that my friends have wanted to say to their, to the, the other parent, but they don't want to. So I'll just say it on this podcast, cause I just don't care anymore. And I just wanted to say that. So let me review my notes. As you guys know, that I make little bullet points, cause I get real distracted. So I just wanted to make sure that I touched on everything that I wanted. And I think I did. So like I said, the next rant will be about documentation. I think it's one of the, I know I keep saying everything's important, but your documentation is the reason why you will have your kid or the reason why you will not have your kid. It's very, very, very important. And I'm a nurse, so I document. If it's not documented, it was never done. That's what they say in the nursing world. And it is so true. It is honestly so true. You document every single thing. So, but like I said, it is 8-something in the morning. So I need to take a little break and get some things done. But I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And this is Bekah, and I'm popping off.